Hey everybody, it's Charlie here from Daily Motor, and today we've got the 2020 BMW M340i. This is going to be a comprehensive review, so we're going to sit down at the desk a bit, talk about the car, take a look at the build configurator and website and specs on this specific vehicle, take it out for a test drive, take a look around the car, see what we think about it, compare it to some of its competitors, and I'll give you my thoughts there at the end. So let's go check out the ultimate driving sports sedan. Alright, so here we are with the 2020 3 Series M340i. I gotta say, I really appreciate getting it in this deep, beautiful, metallic blue. Oftentimes BMW press cars come in either bright, what's called Portimao blue, or this kind of competition orange color that they really like to push. So I was really happy to see this one show up different. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. It's actually one of my favorite colors. I also really like kind of the smoked lettering here, as well as sort of the smoked out turn signals and reverse signals there. I like them kind of getting away from sort of a chrome look. Just makes it look really clean, sporty. I like these wheels. They're simple but effective. You should know that we're actually running on Pirelli, I assume Soto Zero winter tires right now. Kind of the last of them, but it's kind of cool because it allows us to get a little squirrely at more safe speeds. Trunk in the 3 Series is automated, which I think is kind of frustrating. It takes a little extra time, as well as something to break and something that costs more, but whatever. Trunk, pretty standard fare. Battery is up underneath here. I can actually show you. Kind of tough to get this thing open. You need some sort of tool to sort of lever it up like that, but once you do, got your battery there for weight balance, and some storage things on each side. Close that. Back seat of the 3 Series. I like this color combo, although I actually prefer a dark leather and a light up top here, light headliner. But this works. Looks clean, feels nice. It's a decent amount of legroom, pretty standard for the compact sedan class. Materials feel good. You do have this thing that kind of just flops down and some cup holders back here. Although if you have these cup holders open, it's not really comfortable to rest your arms. So you pretty much always have these closed unless you had a drink sitting right here. If it's just your passenger with a drink, then I guess you're kind of just screwed. Connectivity back here, you've got 2 USB Type-C ports, as well as a 12-volt outlet. And the back seat gets their own climate controls, so that's nice. Another little design element I like, these mirror caps. Kind of this brushed color that they were going with in the back. It just sets the car off a little bit nicer, and I suppose if you were to break one, you don't have to get one that's color matched to your car. The grille's kind of got that smoked tone as well. So up front here, very nice place to be. I'm not a huge fan of this material and kind of the way it looks. I'd prefer a wood grain, but it is kind of a nice alternative to just like a carbon fiber or maybe a cheaper wood grain look. I don't know. I'm sure some people really like it. I like the feel. It's got a nice texture to it. I'm just not a huge fan of the color combo in this sort of vehicle. You got cup holders, wireless charging, a USB-A port, and a 12-volt outlet. It's interesting that they went with 2 C's in the back but an A up front, but I am glad that they included a standard USB because you also got a Type-C in here as well. Nice semi-grippy material, some rubberiness back there. No huge surprises, happy to say. Well, yeah, happy in a way. The 3 Series is always such a slam dunk for BMW, so for them to make anything too radical would be a little risky. But You do have your fake M badge here because this is an M340i. Not as fast as the upcoming M3, but not as simple as the base 330i or the 330e plug-in hybrid. All right, let's fire it up here. Gauge cluster works very nice. I like the way BMW and all their newer cars has made kind of this analog looking layout with that style, but yet still has the digital speed readout nice and big on the left side there, as well as some configurable menus here. The right side. Then center display works very well. You can either control it through this very nice rotary knob here or through the touchscreen. Now, I really appreciate having a rotary knob, and BMW kind of was first to the game with their iDrive system back in the mid-2000s with having this rotary system. And if you watched my review on the Genesis G90 that we had recently, I loved that car, but one of my complaints was the feel of the rotary knob. It was kind of plasticky and chintzy, and just didn't feel very solid. You could kind of rotate, like kind of wiggle it around. This, I mean, you can hear how solid that is. And when I move it, it's a very solid feel. This isn't like a super, I don't even think this is metal. So it's plastic, but it's a really premium feel and a solid build. And it makes a big difference. I'm a huge proponent. Anything that you touch regularly should feel premium. I don't care if they use the world's cheapest plastic under the seats and inside the cup holders and the doors or anything like that. But things like door handles, shift knobs, blinkers, instrumentation controls, HVAC, volume, and center consoles, everything like that should feel really premium, and that goes a long way into making your car feel nice. And BMW does a really excellent job at that, at making everything you interact with regularly feel good. Not too much more to write home about with this infotainment screen. You've got your standard radio system. If you want to see a full in-depth review on that system, I'll put the link down in the description for our sound system test. I do appreciate that all of the HVAC controls are right here and easy to use with buttons, save for one. If you go right here for your menu of AC, to synchronize the AC controls, what did I do? To synchronize the AC controls, you have to go into this menu. So, for example, if I'm just driving around on the map and I turn on HVAC here, you can see the passenger's at 65, driver is at low. If I want to put those in sync so that I can just adjust one and they just at the same time, I have to go to menu, AC, and then click synchronize. Very simple, especially with such a reactive system like that, but it'd be nice if I could just hit a button and then all of a sudden it's done. Let's turn that off. Home. Got heated seats, but no cooling in this 3 Series. Got some more controls here, and this is kind of cool. Let me show you. Stop. Just stop doing whatever you're doing. These are presets right here, and they're touch sensitive. So if I actually click on number 4, it's going to bring me to the pulse on Sirius XM. But if I just touch my finger on each one, it's going to tell me what that preset is set at. So I can see, oh, here, number 8, that's the chill channel. I don't want to do that. What about number 6? Oh, classic rewind. That sounds good. So that's kind of a cool little thing, as well as another cool pseudo gimmick is, go back to media, and actually I'm going to go to AM radio, and the reason I do that is because I don't want to get any copyright issues. So I go to AM, and I can turn up the volume using my finger.
You go Logan, you get to an L or an A, usually he pops right up. I try and spell his name, we'll be out of time.
So that's kind of silly. It can be useful in the right situations, but if you see here, it's not super reliable either. So, and another thing you can do with gesture controls, turn down, is go to the next preset or track selection. So if I want to go to my next preset, I can go. Come on, like that. If I want to go back. So that's, again, kind of silly, but it can be useful rather than reaching up here, reaching your steering wheel. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at what the 3 Series has to offer. Do a little build and spec. So we got BMW's website here which has gotten progressively cheesier over the years. You'll see what I mean once we get to the building. So, putting out all their SUVs here, then we get to the 3 Series. The 3 Series is such it's a model with so much history and so many things going on, different specs and configurations all throughout the years. There's kind of a lot to sift through, so we'll try to make this as easy as possible. Go down here, we see all the different colors it's offered in. Hit Explore Models. Now, right now it's only giving us the 330i and 335 xDrive, which is just all-wheel drive. Scroll down, are we going to come to the M340? No, they put that in a whole different place because they're really trying to brand their M brand here and try to say that the M340i is an M car, which it's not. It should just be a higher engine option in the 3 Series. But we go down here, can we even find it? Yeah, we get that M's been around for a while. M2, M8, M8. X3M. Alright, so where is it? How do we get a BMW M340i? Vehicles. 3 Series. Okay. Oh, right here. BMW M. There we go. It's hiding. So you got your M340i here. You're dealing with a 382 horsepower turbocharged inline 6. Incredible motor. Very strong. Sounds great. Whole bunch of different features that they're touting here. Let's just skip to the build and price. Here we are, 3 Series. Let's go. So like I said, you're starting with your base 330i sedan, which has a really good 2-liter turbo motor. Even though it's only 255 horsepower, it's got a lot of torque, it's incredibly fuel efficient, and BMWs often come in at actually higher than their horsepower is rated at. So if you don't need a bunch of power, I very much recommend just the base 330i. Then you've also got the 330e plug-in hybrid. We haven't had a chance to test that vehicle, but we're really looking forward to it. Here at Daily Motor, we're a big fan of EVs, and BMW always does a great job with both their powertrains and their electrified powertrains. But we want an M340i. So here we go. With all this power, you're really going to want all-wheel drive. If you're dealing with the M340i in rear-wheel drive form, you better have some good tires because that is going to be easy to slide around. Let's build the M340i here. So already off the bat, we're dealing with, what was it, like $50-some thousand? Let's go back. Yep, starting at 56 grand before destination. So you're already a pretty hefty price there. Colors. If you don't want to pay any extra, you're getting white. Other than that, you're paying a lot more. So let's try to keep it a little simple here. We got black, Portimao blue, which you're seeing every car in these days, BMWs. This is what we had, the Tanzanite Blue 2 Metallic. I think it looks wonderful. Okay, and then I'm not gonna pay 2 grand for gray, even if it looks decent. So let's go black. Oh, we forgot my wheels. Oh no, it does give us wheels here. So tons of different wheel options. Do not want the run flat tires. I'd rather stick with smaller wheels, dealing with Michigan roads, so. Oh, what is this? Okay. Let's get these 18-inch wheels with all-season non-run flat tires. I'll probably just buy some performance tires to swap on there anyway. Next, upholstery. And this is the little cheesy thing I was talking about. Now that's a sharp-looking BMW. Let's add some more. That pops up every screen you click through. It's just so silly. Interior. What do we got? Mocha here. Oh, see, if you want the mocha interior, you gotta add ambient lighting. Oh, okay. What else can I do here? This is a popular pick, apparently. Gotta add ambient lighting with that, too. What's this oyster? So pretty much if you want any color other than standard, it looks like, you gotta add ambient lighting, because that makes sense. All right, fine. I'll pay $1,700 for this mocha brown. Next, trim. Come on. Just wait until you see that choice in person. I'm not a huge fan of this kind of metallic look. I want some wood grain. I like the open pore. I also like the gloss. So I'm actually going to go with this fine wood ash gray brown high gloss wood grain. Next, options. So the premium package here, you get a head-up display, heated front seats. This is a $58,000 car as spec, and I'm not getting heated front seats standard. That's pretty frustrating. So, I mean, I gotta pick that package. I don't need the head-up display though. Let's see if there's a different way I can get heated seats for less. Executive package, Park Assist Plus, I don't need that. I would kind of like the LED headlights though. Headlights are just a safety feature the way I see it. But let's keep going through and see if maybe I can get those features a little bit cheaper. I'm not going to be... If you're tracking this car, you might want to add this cooling and high-performance tire package. Let's see, options. Adaptive cruise control is nice, but I don't need it. I do want remote start, though. Can I get that just for $300? Yes, okay, good. Heated steering wheel, $190. Oh, here we go. So I can get a heated steering wheel and heated front seats for $690 all in. Let's do that. Do not need a power tailgate on my sedan. I already got the ambient lighting. $500 for wireless charging. Oh, see, but it's not $500 because you got to get the premium package, which means you're getting your head-up display. So $1,200. No, I'm not doing it. I'm going to try to keep this cheap. $875 for the Harman Kardon, but not actually because you got to get your premium package. Fine, I guess I'm doing it. I mean, this car is 60 grand already. Let's do premium package, and that way I can add on the wireless charging as well. Get the Harman Kardon sound system. Can I get the adaptive suspension for $700? Yeah, but I don't need it because the standard suspension is actually pretty good on this car. Next, accessories. Don't need them. So, summary. Having a good amount of restraint, but also getting packages that I would want in a luxury small car, I'm looking at $61,000. It's not cheap. It's a good amount of money, but it's a lot less than our test vehicle, and you're also getting an amazing powertrain with that. Our test vehicle here, you can see, spec'd out at just under $70,000. That's including the executive package with the automatic high beams, the LED lights, which I kind of would have liked to have on my build. 19-inch wheels, remote start, M Sport brakes, diff, those are actually included. Adaptive suspension, power tailgate, ambient lighting is included, wireless charging, and the Harman Kardon surround sound. So all in after destination, $70,000 for this car. So let's head out, take it for a test drive, and see what a $70,000 BMW 3 Series does for you. Let's get out and have a little bit of fun with this 3 Series. And we can do that because of our winter tires. One of my favorite things about BMWs are their powertrains. They're so darn good. Not only are they fast, powerful, smooth, but they're also so efficient. This car, whatever the EPA says, it'll do better than that, especially if you're just cruising along the highway. It's incredible. And then you can press Sport Plus here, put the transmission into aggressive sport mode. And then just... Oh, I also want to turn traction control into dynamic. listen to that inline six just purr. It's like a purr and a yell all at the same time. I'm gonna manual it down into first here using the paddle shifters, and then do a little So even with the all-wheel drive, you can have some fun with this thing. You can definitely throw it around. And I know for a fact when it's on its summer tires, it's much harder to do that. You just get incredible grip, and you can pull some amazing cornering figures, but it is a little bit tougher to have squirrely juvenile fun like that. I do like those little exhaust pops, even if they're a bit artificial. Do a quick 0 to 60 test for you. And for that, I'm actually going to go down to comfort for the braking. And then sport. That transmission setting. Traction control is off. I'm going to allow this car to go by. Oh, we got another one. And another one. Alright, then I'm going to go full brake, gas. There is no question that BMW's turbo inline 6 is incredibly, incredibly powerful. But it's a weird level of power, because when you're dealing with this sort of in-between like 350, 400 range of power in a vehicle like this, it's fast enough to be fun, and it's fast enough to really push you to the back of your seat, surprise your passengers, plenty of power in any sort of everyday situation. But it doesn't reach up to that threshold of like, wow, this is really fast sort of power. You don't really get that until you get up above about 450, nearing 500, depending on the type of vehicle. And I will say, even in a lighter car, I mean, if we're talking like, let's say like a Corvette, for example, even the standard 460 horsepower in a C7 Corvette will feel really fast. It'll be like, whoa, levels of fast. Whereas this is kind of just like, oh, yeah, that's really fast. I'm gonna get before this GMC here. And part of it is because the power comes on so smooth, and this transmission is so well dialed in and smooth, and the inline 6 power is smooth, and the car is well isolated, that it just, it's not like a really invigorating, soulful sort of speed. It's just a very competent, numbers-driven speed. And that's sort of compounded by the fact that the steering is so smooth, and everything's just really well isolated and dialed in with this car. And unfortunately, that just kind of takes away a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit from its fun levels. For me, a car like this just wouldn't really make sense. If I want something that's going to go fast, I'm going to get something more raw. I'm going to get something, even if it's a little objectively slower, I want to be able to hear it more. I want to be able to feel it more. I want to have it be a little bit more malleable, a little melt in my hands, sort of communicate with the driver sort of experience. And this 3 Series just, it doesn't really provide that, unfortunately. Now, reviewing a 3 Series on YouTube, or really anywhere, is kind of like you're just lining up in the firing range, because everyone's going to come in and be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that you didn't like the way that drove. I mean, you just don't know how to review cars. And at the end of the day, guys, you got to realize that it's subjective. I mean, there are people, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that this is a bad car. In fact, this is probably one of the most fun sports sedans on the market, and definitely one of the most fun sports sedans I've driven. I've driven an M340i very similar to this out on a racetrack, and I drove it back to back with a Genesis G70 3.3 liter. I've driven, I want to say, just about everything in this class, save for maybe a Lexus IS, if that's still relevant. And so I can tell you that this is one of, if not the best driving of all those cars. In fact, I much prefer it over the Genesis and the Volvo and the Audi. But I'm just saying that I don't care for this kind of power. I would never buy a car like this to take it to the track. I would never buy a car like this unless, I guess, I lived out on the Autobahn in Germany and I wanted a really fast, really capable vehicle to just cruise at like 120 miles per hour and then also have some fun in the tight twisties. But this type of vehicle, it's just not for me, even though I totally recognize and appreciate its merits. So I think that power is awesome. I love BMW powertrains. It's just, it's a weird combination when you're paying $70,000 to have this isolated, premium feeling luxury vehicle, and then also try to say that it's sporty. One thing that is kind of cool that I noticed having the window open in the 3 Series, listen if you can hear the turbo whistle. I'm gonna have to be going a little bit faster here, so 1 second. It's really subtle. I'm hoping you can hear it over the windows. Let me try with the window all the way open. Anyway, let's hop on the highway here. Oh, actually starting to get a little bit of rain. And the highway is really where the 3 Series actually does quite well. It's got the semi-autonomous driving right here, so I can just touch the wheel periodically and the car will steer itself, or just kind of keep a hand raised on there. And one thing that BMW does differently than all the other manufacturers that I can think of, all the other manufacturers use a weight, sort of like a pressure sensor, to see if you're turning the wheel and putting in some resistance, you must be touching it. BMW uses a haptive, actual like sensation sensor, touch sensor in the steering wheel around here. So even just the lightest touch, I don't have to be manipulating the steering wheel at all. I can just kind of gently caress it. Right? Oh, just a little bit of just the slightest squeeze, and it senses that I'm touching it. Whereas other cars, oh, it actually just disabled itself. That's weird. Let me see. I wonder if it's because of the rain. Oh, there we go. So it's working again. And you can just as long as you keep touching it just a little bit, it'll keep working. Whereas other cars, you can just put some pressure on. If I touch the silver part of the wheel and put pressure on it, like I'm turning right now, it doesn't sense that I'm touching it. If I go like this, boop, then it works. You can see the adaptive cruise control is also kicking in, keeping me a safe distance from the vehicle in front of me. That distance is adjustable right here. I'm gonna let this Jeep go by behind me, and then we'll pull out and see how it fares on its own. So I'm not giving it any gas, and gets right back up to the speed that I was going. So wind noise is virtually non-existent. There is a tad bit of road noise, but I'm going to attribute that to the winter tires that are on this vehicle. Other than that, it's a very smooth operator on the highway. So you might be able to tell a little bit as I take this off-ramp here. I'm going to shift down manually. The car pipes in a little bit of sound, fake exhaust sound, when you're in sport mode, and it doesn't do that in comfort mode, or at least it doesn't do it nearly as much. So that's full throttle. I'm comfort, let me switch to Sport Plus. So it's just a little bit louder. It still sounds pretty good, but I know some purists wouldn't care for that, and I'm kind of with them in a way that I would sort of prefer it to just be natural sound. Now, when I'm driving around the 3 Series, I actually like to drive in Eco Pro mode. And what that does is just kind of optimize it for any sort of fuel-saving techniques that BMW has been able to come up with. Some of those include when you release the throttle, I don't know all the science behind it, but it goes into what the Germans call sail mode. Just allows it to coast very efficiently. I think it does some sort of decoupling of the transmission and allows the wheels to just spin as freely as possible with as little resistance. And so you're losing as little forward momentum or kinetic energy to heat, to friction as possible. It also upshifts very quickly and shows you what your fuel economy is. Up there it actually gets rid of the tachometer. So I just kind of like it. It's quiet, smooth. Driving around in comfort is pretty similar, but hey, why spend the extra money on gas if you don't have to? You do have some pretty cool ambient light settings in the 3 Series, which you can kind of start to see now as it gets darker outside. So we'll go to Settings, Interior Lighting, Brightness, turn that up. Oops. And then go you can see there's a few colors there: orange, blue, green, lilac, which is purple, as well as a few white variants on those colors, and what we started in bronze. Now, I've always kind of wondered why BMW doesn't allow you to just choose any color in the rainbow. I mean, if these are true LEDs, then you really should be able to choose any color, and a lot of manufacturers are moving to that. So it's always been a little curious to me why BMW limits you to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 primary colors here. Anyway, that is the 3 Series. Let's take it back to the desk. I'll give you some of my final thoughts and look at a few competitors. All right, now that we've had a chance to test drive the vehicle, let's take a look at some of the 3 Series competition and see if you can't strike a better deal. So this is US News's best small luxury cars list. I think that's kind of the best place to sort of go off of when we're talking about the 3 Series. Starting from the bottom here, you got quite a lot in this segment. CLA is a little bit smaller. This is more of a C-Class competitor, so we're going to skip that. Infiniti Q50 is a coupe. We're going to skip that as well. A-Class is too small. Giulia. I don't know why they don't have the Giulia ranked. Maybe just because they haven't driven a 2020 yet. The Giulia is a really good car to drive. The powertrains are decent. The interior is kind of cool, but feels a good amount cheaper than some of its competition. And then you've got the elephant in the room with reliability. Now, I know some people will be quick to defend the Giulia as, oh, you know, I've owned one for 3 years and it's been fine. Yes, but a lot of people haven't. And a lot of the problems that do come up on them come up repetitively, and they're expensive, and you're dealing with a really shoddy dealership network. You're getting your $60,000 Giulia, or heaven forbid a Quadrifoglio, $80,000, $90,000 car, serviced right next to 10-year-old Chrysler Town & Countries at the FCA dealer, and that's borderline unacceptable for a luxury vehicle. So I think that deserves to be ranked pretty low, which is a shame because it's a pretty sweet looking car and it drives well as well. Jaguar XE, I'm not a huge fan of anything that Jaguar puts out other than the F-Type and the F-Pace. The XE, it's good looking, but again, you're dealing with reliability. The powertrains aren't really that inspiring, and I'm not a huge fan of the interior materials, even though they are objectively pretty nice. The ILX is actually a little small, so we're going to skip over that. Lexus RC is a coupe. Here we go, Lexus IS. Also a little bit small compared to the 3 Series and really isn't driving much inspiring, doesn't have the inspiring powertrains that BMW has to provide. It deserves to be down here as well as the Infiniti Q50. It's a shame because Infinity's come a long way down from its G-Class or G-Series or G35, 37, those kind of vehicles. The interior is pretty decent on the Q50 and you can get a pretty powerful engine, but it's not a very characteristic engine. The steering's really numb. A3's too small. Arteon's not luxury. So they've got the 3 Series ranked here at 6. Let's talk about that a little more once we look at its competition. Volvo S60, they've got it tied here with the 3 Series. C-Class slightly above. Kia Stinger doesn't deserve to be in here. As nice as it is, it's not a luxury vehicle. I'm sorry, Kia, you're not quite there yet. Audi A4, and then Genesis G70. They put the 2 Series here at the top, which I agree with that it's an awesome vehicle, but it's not really in the same class as the 3 Series for obvious reasons, so let's ignore that. So what we're really dealing with here is G70, A4, C-Class, S60, and 3 Series. The BMW 3 Series really deserves praise for its bandwidth. The 330i is very good, starts out at a more affordable price, great engine, you still get the nice interior, plenty of options available, rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, and then you've got the plug-in hybrid 330e and the incredibly powerful and capable M340i. You're not really going to get that sort of bandwidth with the S60 or the A4. The G70 I'd go as far as to say as well, you're not dealing with any sort of hybrid, and the base motor is really not that great. And even the 3.3 liter upper level motor is not nearly as inspiring or powerful as BMW's. In fact, I'd go as far as to say the 3 Series motor, the M340i, is probably the best powertrain when considering the engine and transmission of anything in this class. However, when you start factoring in the prices, what you have to pay, the nickel and diming for the different colors, the trims, the options, and sort of the feel of the inside of the vehicle, that's where the 3 Series starts to slip up a bit. The steering feel is also incredibly numb, and it's frustrating because it doesn't translate to how good the chassis and powertrain is in the 3 Series. So I'm not on the G70's bandwagon. I think it does look good, it does drive nice, but it's just not inspiring enough to be up here regardless of how much it costs. So it's definitely the budget play. If you're really looking to, for some reason, buy a luxury small car but also save money, then I guess the G70 is a good pick for you. But I would pick a 3 Series over a G70, hands down, back to back, aside from the price. The C-Class is quite good. It doesn't quite offer the powertrain aptitude that the 3 Series has, but I would definitely consider it, and it does offer a tad bit more of a luxurious feel than the 3 Series. A4, I admittedly haven't driven one recently, but it's solid. It's just, again, it's a little uninspiring. I don't think it deserves to be all the way up here. The Volvo S60 is actually where I think your money should go in this class. We're actually going to open up the S60 build configurator real quick. If you really don't care about Volvo, you can skip over this, but bear with me. So when you come to the S60 here, you can start all the way down here, $37,000 when you factor in destination, and you're getting a bunch of good features. But let's go all the way up here to a luxury inscription model with the T6 316 horsepower engine. Not nearly as powerful or inspiring as the inline 6 and the M340i, but let's just play with it, see what happens. All of your colors here are much cheaper than they were in the 3 Series. So let's pick this beautiful red color here. Let's go to wheels, cheaper wheel options as well. I'm going to stick with the 18s. Upholstery, I want to get a beautiful dark brown, just like I had in the BMW. It's maroon brown. What's that going to run me? Oh, now see, this is frustrating. I can't get the brown leather interior with that red color. Okay, what else can I get then? Can I get... Looks like I'm stuck with just a few different options here. That is frustrating. Alright, let's grab this blonde leather then. Whoops. Next, exterior styling. I'm not going to throw any styling on it. Just try to keep it a little simple. Throw this lime deco, sort of dark interior here. Heated front seats come standard in the inscription package. Good to see. So we could throw in heated rear seats and a heated steering wheel. Sure, why not? Let's throw in the luxury package as well. That's getting us... Oh, I'm going to get different seats, I guess. I thought this is what I've got. Okay. What's the luxury package getting us? That's getting us massaging rear seats, something you can't even get in the 3 Series. Adjustable side bolsters. And that's about it. So, hey, massaging seats for $2,200? Sure, throw it in. Advanced package, getting you the full LED lights, 360 camera, all that Pro Pilot Assist, self-driving. Sure, toss it in. Now, options. Throw in a $3,200 Bowers & Wilkins premium sound system? Sure, why not? All of those luxury packages in there, and for a powerful S60, what am I looking at? Still $57,000 all said and done. Where am I? Yeah, 57, just let's go say $58,000. That's still thousands of dollars cheaper than that 3 Series M340i that I just configured. I think you're getting a car that looks better, is more comfortable to drive, more luxurious feeling, sticks out a lot more than the 3 Series. It's not, oh, you went out and bought a 3 Series, congratulations. The S60 is different and more luxurious feeling. Now, it's not nearly as sporty to drive as the 3 Series, but I would much rather get a Volvo S60 for somewhere in the $50,000 range and then go out and buy some sort of sporty vehicle like a used Miata or something like that, or a Mustang. Get something more dedicated to be sporty for my track vehicle or weekend type of vehicle, and then get something more luxurious feeling and easy to daily drive like an S60. Either way, getting back to the 3 Series here, it is a really good car. It's incredibly well designed, incredibly well engineered. It's just let down by its cost and sort of the fact that it doesn't really inspire kind of a raw driving experience like some 3 Series of old have done. Now, nothing in that class really does anymore, but they're all trying to be luxurious and sporty at the same time. And I say you kind of have to pick one. So if you really do want the ultimate sporty luxury sedan, yeah, the 3 Series is about the best you can get. But you're going to be paying a lot of money, dealing with some potential reliability issues, and not getting quite as luxurious of an experience as you could get with a C-Class or an S60. Either way, hope you guys were able to get a good overall look at the BMW 3 Series, especially that M340i that we were able to drive. If you liked the video, please hit that subscribe button. Check out some of our other videos. Check out the sound system review on the 3 Series if you're interested in that. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.